YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Buddha back in the building for another last Cloudia showcase video. One that I've been meaning to get to for a while now. You can see on my screen the character Mechanical Meredy. And another huge shout out to the home girl female boss iVoHzz for providing us this build and accessibility to the character so I can do a showcase. She's been playing the game since it launched in JP, so a veteran to say the least. I've talked about her many times, and she, just like she provided us the Shift Lilibet build for that showcase, she now wants us to highlight the Meredy that she's got on her friend list, which is quite impressive if I do say so myself. I've used her a couple times, and people, don't sleep on Meredy. Don't sleep on her. If I had to give any advice, if you pull her, she's a general banner unit, so you can get her at any point in time pretty much, which is great news because she is so good at what she does. We're going to be taking a look at her build here. It's described by iVoHzz as kind of a bruiser slash breaker. That's what this build is going to focus on, and I'm excited to bring her into battle and showcase what she can do. So just looking at the stats, she's sitting at a nice 2,500 strength, a little over 1,100 defense, 800 intelligence, 758 mind. She got a nice 7,000 plus HP stat. You can see her resistances. She's at 84 out of 84 SC. It looks like iVoHzz has used 2 extra soul prisms on her to get some bonus SC. 107 out of 107 ability board, and it seems that this Meredy is a 5-star, so she'd get a little more stat boost if she was at 6-star. Keep that in mind, but nothing to really skew what we're gonna see here. Fully enhanced, level 100. Let's take a look at the build that iVoHzz has going. She has a little bit of HP plus on her. She's got her attack ups. Again, anything with a 0 next to the SCR skills that Meredy just comes with on her kit. She's got Proud Force. We can see the coveted guard build that I highlighted last time as well. Guard, Vigilance, Spell Guard, and Guard Charge. That's the key, baby, right there. Guard Charge is an especially nice ability because anytime you are proccing that guard, you're going to be charging up your skills in the meantime. She's got this skill, Geminite, which I don't think I have or have access to. Have a chance of negating magic damage. I think I remember iVoHzz telling me that this Meredy just avoids magic damage like it's the plague. Comes with Machine Slayer. Looks like she has fast critical, and then this skill, fast vacation. I don't know where that skill comes from, but I'm assuming it's from a limited arc, maybe? Yeah, I just checked. It's from an SR arc, White Knight's Vacation, which I actually haven't seen in-game, and I believe it might be one of those event limited arcs like Stone World, which we currently can grab right now. So that is something that most players won't have access to. Maybe not most, but a lot of players won't have access to, especially if you're newer like me. Maglion, which I just recently gained access to by leveling up the Ark Star-Lord. Damage dealt is proportional to the distance of long-range attacks. We know that 2 of Meredy's attacks are long-range, quote-unquote. Her skill 2 is just that giant beam bazooka that she fires off. That can be shot from anywhere as long as she's horizontally in range. And the third skill, her S3, is that giant drill that comes out of the ground, which she can shoot off from anywhere on the map. So it seems like Maglion's going to benefit those 2 skills especially. Of course, we have dual wield because if you're a physical type damage dealer, you want dual wield. It's just a must 90% of the time. And then these last skills here are all included in Meredy's kit. Looking at the equipment, she's got some pretty beefy things on here. First off is Zervaga Sledge. Hopefully I said that right. That is an Arc Ether reward from the skill from the Arc Doom Dozer. It's an SSR arc with that giant troll Really nice art, but it has this nasty ability where it drains int and mind minus 10% and then adds that total to strength. So it's gonna make Meredy hit that much harder. And it's already sitting at a nice 210 strength stat, so definitely a premium weapon as far as hammers go. We did see that iVoHzz included axe equips and then axe boosts, which allows her to equip this Warlord's Halberd, which I also had to look up. It is another Ark Ether reward from Aldana Coliseum, which is actually an SR Ark, so all of us probably have access to it, and you will get it eventually just by doing summons. And it comes with a very, very nice weapon for the Ark Ether reward. 197 strength. Anything close to 200 on equipments, or I should say on weapons specifically, that's a really, really nice weapon. So 197 on the strength stat, and then just SCT speed plus 10%. You can't go wrong with that. Any bonus SCT speed is going to benefit your character most of the time. Looking at accessories, she's got Zeal Tech God Core with this pretty disgusting ability. When HP is 50% or lower, physical attack damage plus 15%. That's only once per wave. So I am wondering, does that damage percentage boost go away? Let's say you go below 50, get that damage boost, and then it jumps you know, through Proud Force or healing, you go back up above 50%. Does that cancel the damage effect? I would think maybe not, but I've never tested it, so I don't know. Let me know in the comments. You already know the drill. And some really, really, really good stat boosts, or at least a strength stat on an accessory. 71 stat boost on an accessory is very nice. And for the fourth accessory, we can see she has the paid Meredy goggles. So obviously, if you've been around for a minute, you know my stance on paid weapons. I will never be rocking that on my Meredy, but it is a juicy little thing with a 50 strength boost and critical rate plus 5%, additional critical rate plus 5% in enemies. Two enemies in break, which is one of Meredy's specialties, is breaking. So when that occurs, she's got an extra 10% on her crit rate. Very nice stuff. I wanted to include some budget equipment replacements for the newer players. Obviously, grinding up your ether rewards from Arks takes time. It's not easy in the beginning, so these items are not going to be very accessible to you when you're just starting off. Even to me, I don't have any of those. I'm close to getting the Zervaga Sledge. I've still got a bit of ether grinding to do. So in the meantime, I wanted to read off some of these equipments. The first budget replacement for the weapons I wanted to look at is the Ancient Hammer. It's just got a solid 119 strength boost, critical rate plus 10%, and then enemies are more likely to faint. Just a little extra ability, but crit rate plus 10%, 119 strength boost is pretty decent, and you can pick this up just by grinding out story. Once you get to Port Town Marquita, you can buy it in the shop. I think it's like 890,000 Zell, which by the time you get there, you'll most likely have enough. I think that's later, pretty late in the story. So this is just a nice, free, accessible, easily accessible weapon you could slap on her. This weapon's kind of, you know, iffy, but I wanted to highlight it in case you were around during the Shift Lilibet and you bought this up. You can buy it at the Gorge shop for only 176,000. You can buy this up, and during the Shift Lilibet event, you could increase this weapon's stat by plus 40, which in effect was a plus 80 to its strength, putting it in a 174 strength, which is just a solid stat boost for a free weapon from the in-game story shop. And Meredy can equip machines naturally, so this is probably something I would use, or I will use, just for that strength boost in the meantime while I'm trying to farm up, you know, the real weapons that I want for my final build. And I also wanted to show off this machine type. LiQWYD is how I'm gonna say that. Not the biggest strength boost, plus 102. However, I do like the trait it comes with. Physical attacks have a chance to temporarily inflict all strength, int, defense, and mind minus 10%. Now, when this procs, I was reading on Lake's Goldmine website. Shout out to Lake, the Grand Archivist of Las Cloudia. It's a 3% chance per hit for this effect to proc, but when it does, you get all of these minus 10% right off the bat. It's not one. It's not a percentage chance of maybe you'll get strength, maybe you'll get defense. You get all of those across the board minus 10%, which is just a nice debuff to put on the enemies for a completely free to grind weapon. No arcs are required, no ether farming is required. You could just get it in the Hidden Paco Plane shop. If you haven't seen my guide, if you're a bit earlier in the story, chapter 4 or earlier, you can check that out. I'll link the video up. You're gonna get stuck at this one part in the story. It's a kind of a puzzle, a bit of a maze to get through, so I made a guide on it, and it allows you to unlock the Hidden Paco Planes if you take a couple extra steps, which gives you access to the shop where you can buy this weapon. If you are around for the recent Valentine's event, this Golden Rose is just a fantastic accessory to slap on any physical type damage dealers that use their skills. Strength plus 46, int plus 31, not as important if the unit doesn't scale off of int, but then just gives you a nice skill damage plus 6%, an extra 5 resistance to thunder too. The hunting bandana is an accessory I'm very fond of. You can acquire it by beating the monster bounty, the final boss for the monster bounties in Aldana. Something that you can do just by passively going through the quest. You'll fight enough monsters, eventually unlock that node, go into it, fight, and get this great, 32 strength, 27 int, and then damage to enemies that have fainted or are in break plus 10%. Like we discussed, Meredy is a fantastic breaker, so that trait matches with her well. Hazelgaze ring is just a fantastic accessory. I consider this more premium free-to-play items because you do have to beat the level 100 world bosses, which is a difficult thing if you're just starting out. So just solid 30 to strength, defense 20, auto cast protection at the battle start, just a solid accessory all around. And the last one I wanted to highlight is the green diamond you get from fighting another one of the world bosses, Pablo, or however you say it. We call him Pablo here. HP plus 200, strength plus 20. When HP reaches 0, auto revive 1 time. Just a nice survivability and gives some nice stat boosts. And I think that's enough coverage on equipment and skills. I went a little overboard. Took a little more time than I was planning on discussing all of that. So let's see the girl in action. You can see iVoHzz has killing machines attached to her. Gives that nice strength boost with a little arc extension I see. Strength plus 15%, boost physical attack damage to enemy based on how many enemies share its type, plus 5% per enemy including target, max up to 30%, and then boost special based on skill stock. This was released with Alice when she came out. A fantastic just general arc for any physical type attackers, I think, with that nice strength boost and physical damage increase. So let's get into it. Start the quest. You guys know I like to use this Fine Tyria stage just because it's a pretty vanilla battle. Let's go ahead. No magic is equipped. I just want to pause for a second. Before I get into this. Let's see what we're looking at. We've got no skill charges off the bat, but you can see that normal attack is a bit ridiculous. Let's pop this S1. You can see there's just a ton of numbers flying all over the screen. Meredy has this crazy little mechanic, remote control bomb or something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna actually let Meredy get hit because I want her skill 2 to charge up a bit, because that actually increases her break damage the more that she gets hit. You can see we're not flinching either. Meredy's just this crazy little like ghost character, I call her, where she avoids a lot of attacks, a lot of magic damage as well, doesn't flinch too much, so she's just a great fun unit to use. What I was saying earlier is that she has this remote control effect, so her normal attacks end up dealing a lot of extra attacks around it. So you include double impact, triple impact on top of that. That's what's creating this insane number vomit that we see Meredy doing. Let's see how much we can break Galbor down right now with Super Soul Particle Gun. I'm going to try and get some distance and just launch Maglion off. Oh, that's some nice breaking. Let's do her S3, and you can see, totally broken. Let's go ahead and launch this ultimate. See how much damage it does. We're sitting at about 1.7 million health. Looks like we did about 200k, so nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. But man, I gotta say, see all the extra numbers flying around the screen? That's one of Meredy's just fun little abilities that she's got. So she's definitely not destroying the health bar like we saw with Shift Lilibet and some other units. But her break effect is a bit absurd. You can see how much break damage she's doing. And so, again, this build that we're seeing in battle is a bruiser slash breaker. So it's more leaning on the defensive side with that extra break effect with her. And there we go. Done, done, and done. A fun unit that's going to just be packed with a bunch of survivability. It's going to tear through boss break bars. Just an extremely useful unit. And even more so that you have a chance to pull her on every single banner. She's a no attribute type attacker, which is always excellent since we don't have to rely, or we don't have to worry about elemental resistances to her damage. She's going to deal extra thunder damage if the enemy is weak to thunder, so it's a win-win with her kit. I'm excited. I've built her up quite a bit. Mine is it can't even touch iVoHz's build that we just saw. Tweaks also has a great build that he showcased on his channel. Y'all should know that Tweaks shows off a bunch of amazing feats that you can pull off in this game. He has a lot of fun with Meredy, I know. This is mine right here sitting at level 87. Still got a lot to go. But I wanted to show this girl off because I think a lot of people slept on her. A lot of people didn't pull for her because we knew there were a lot of great things coming. But I'm happy I did. I can't wait to have her fully functioning to where I can take her into difficult modes. What are your thoughts? Are you just enamored with the units that deal big old damage numbers that just tear that health bar down real quick, or do you like characters like Meredy who are a little more, I don't know if I would say technical, but she's more on the defensive side, tanky. She's got the break ability, and she does deal a good amount of damage if you build her right, as we saw. There's also another build that iVoHzz was showing me. Like I said multiple times, this is the Bruiser Breaker. She sent me a video showcasing what she calls the full damage build on Meredy. It involves stripping down the guard skills that we know iVoHzz likes to do, and including Slayers. So you basically just reserve 9C to include the Slayer skill for any particular boss that you're fighting. It had the skill Weak Point Boost. You get that skill from the SSR Ark Ancient Ruins of St. Marius. That was another Ark that came with Shift Lilibet, so not everyone's gonna have that, myself included. And for an accessory, she did swap out the Zeal Tech God Core with the Golden Rose, which I highlighted earlier in the showcase. So that was just a couple tweaks that she made in order to focus Meredy more on a damage route. I mean, that's what's so great about this game, is you can mix and match whatever you want, whatever is accessible to you, to build these units out in a particular way and lean them, skew them towards damage or tankiness or breaking, however your imagination desires. It can pretty much be done in this game, but it never hurts to see what the veterans come up with, because they understand this game more than the majority of us newbies. So I like to highlight good builds that we can all take a note from in order to help us all up our gameplay. All right, what did you think of the big hammer girl, bonk Meredy, as Tweak says? Do you have her? Have you built her? Do you love her? Do you use her? I think that's all I got for you this video. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if there are certain things that you do with Meredy that give you great results while using her. I am going to edit the heck out of this because I've been recording way longer than I expected. So, y'all know what I say. Work hard, play harder. See you in the next video.